let's get real for a second. You want to know what every guy secretly dreams of when it comes to intimacy. You want to know what goes through his head when he hands you the keys to his pleasure, the joystick, as we're calling it tonight. Well, buckle up, because I'm about to expose what most men will never say out loud, but every single one of them is desperately hoping for. And here's the truth. If you understand these 5 secret desires, not only will you blow his mind physically, you'll make him feel a kind of connection with you that he'll crave again and again. This isn't just about touching his body, it's about touching his ego, his masculinity, his heart, and yes, his deepest fantasies. Now, here's the thing about men. Most of them don't know how to ask for what they want in bed. They might joke about it, they might hint, but deep down they're terrified of saying something that makes them look weird, needy, or too much. And so they stay silent, they let you lead, they go along with what you're doing, they finish, they thank you, but inside they're thinking, God, I wish she would have done that one thing. And when you do discover it, when you surprise him with something he's been secretly craving but never had the courage to request, that's when you become unforgettable. That's when you stop being just another woman he slept with and you become the woman whose touch he compares everyone else to. So today, I'm going to walk you through 5 things he secretly wants you to do with his joystick. These aren't just physical tricks, they're layered with psychology. Because for a man, his joystick isn't just an organ, it's the most vulnerable part of him. It's tied to his pride, his confidence, his ability to please you, and the rawest expression of his desire for you. Handle it right, and you awaken parts of him he didn't even know were there. Handle it wrong, or worse, indifferently, and he'll feel unseen, unappreciated, and even emasculated. So let's start with the first secret desire. 1, he wants you to admire it, like it's your favorite toy. Let me let you in on a little secret men are insecure about their joystick. Yes, even the confident ones, even the ones who swagger into the room like they're God's gift to women, because every man deep down has this primal fear of not measuring up. And I don't just mean in size, I mean in everything: performance, stamina, how much pleasure he's giving you. He is constantly judging himself against an invisible standard. And when you're with him, do you know what he's silently begging you to do? Admire him. Make him feel like his joystick is the most magnificent thing you've ever laid your hands or lips on. When you look at him with that sparkle in your eyes, when you touch him like he's powerful, when you whisper something like, God, I love how hard you are for me, you're not just turning him on. You're erasing every doubt in his mind. You're telling him you're enough, more than enough. You're exactly what I crave. And that does something no technique, no fancy move, no position can do. It unlocks his confidence. A confident man in bed is a better lover. He stops holding back, stops worrying, and starts giving himself to you fully. So don't just touch his joystick, worship it, give it attention, admire its shape, its hardness, the way it reacts to you. Show him that you're not just tolerating it, you're obsessed with it. Because here's the truth: when you love it, he feels like you love him. 2, he wants you to take control. At least sometimes here's a fantasy most men won't admit. They want you to take the joystick and play with it like it's yours. See, most guys are used to being the ones in control. They're expected to lead, to set the pace, to decide what happens next. And yes, many men love that role. It makes them feel masculine. But deep down, there's this hidden craving for the opposite. For a moment where he can let go, where he doesn't have to perform, where you take charge. Imagine this: instead of waiting for him to guide your hand, you grab him firmly, look him in the eyes, and start playing with him exactly how you want. Or maybe you push him back, climb on top, and show him that for tonight, his body is your playground. Do you know what that does to him? It makes him feel desired in a way that's primal. It tells him she's not doing this because I ask. She's doing this because she can't help herself, because she wants me. And here's the kicker: when you take control of his joystick, you're giving him something he can't give himself: surprise. You're creating moments that feel new, unpredictable, exciting. And that keeps his desire for you alive long after the bedroom. So don't be afraid to take the lead. Don't be afraid to show him you've got your own moves. Because secretly, he's dying for you to. 3, he wants you to play the tease game. Men are obsessed with the chase. It's wired into them. And that doesn't just stop once he's naked in front of you. In fact, one of the greatest secrets to keeping his desire on fire is this: don't give him everything all at once. Tease him, make him wait, Show him you're in control of his pleasure and that he's going to have to surrender to your rhythm. Here's what I mean when you're touching his joystick. Don't just go straight to the finish line. Build him up. Get him right to the edge and then pull back. Watch the way his body reacts, the way his breathing changes, the way he looks at you with this mix of frustration and hunger. That moment when he's aching for release and you're the only one who can give it is intoxicating for him. It's not just about the orgasm. It's about the tension, the anticipation, the power you hold in your hands. Now, here's the psychology when you tease him like this. You're showing him that you understand something most women don't. Pleasure is in the build-up. It's in the journey, not just the destination. And by making him wait, by making him want more, you're teaching him that intimacy with you is an adventure he never wants to end. So we've already uncovered 3 of his secret desires: his need to be admired, his craving for you to take control, and his obsession with the tease. But we're not done yet, because when it comes to a man's joystick, there are 2 more things he desperately wishes you knew. And if you master these, you don't just become a woman he lusts after, you become the woman he's addicted to. 4, he wants you to communicate with your body, not just your hands. Here's something most women don't realize when you're touching a man. He's not only paying attention to what your hands are doing, he's paying attention to everything else: your breathing, your eyes, your lips, your body language. For him, the joystick is just one part of a bigger experience. And secretly, he wants your entire body to be in on the game. Think about this for a second. If your hands are on him, but your eyes are wandering around the room, or you look distracted, he feels it. He feels like you're just doing it because you're supposed to, not because you're genuinely lost in the moment. And that kills the intimacy. But when you lean in close, when you let your lips hover near his ear, when your breathing quickens as you play with him, suddenly he feels like he's the center of your world. That's what he secretly wants. Not just your touch, but your presence. Men are visual creatures, yes, but more than that, they're emotional creatures. They crave reassurance that they're driving you wild too. So when you moan softly, when you bite your lip as you stroke him, when you lock eyes and whisper, "I love how you feel in my hands," you're doing more than touching his body. You're stroking his ego, his masculinity, his sense of power. And that's what he's secretly addicted to. Remember this: your body speaks louder than your hands ever could. And when your body language screams desire, his pleasure goes through the roof. 5, he wants you to surprise him with playfulness. Now, this is the final piece of the puzzle, and it's a one most women overlook. Men don't just want intensity. They don't just want admiration or teasing. Deep down, they also crave playfulness. They want you to treat his joystick like it's not just a sacred treasure, but also a toy you're dying to experiment with. Think about it. When was the last time you caught him off guard in bed? When was the last time you did something spontaneous, something cheeky, something that made him laugh and moan at the same time? Maybe it's giving him a sudden playful squeeze when he's least expecting it. Maybe it's licking him in a way he didn't see coming. Maybe it's making a bold joke in the middle of touching him that leaves him both aroused and smiling. Here's the truth: men live for those little surprises, because most sexual encounters, if we're being honest, become routines. They start to feel predictable, and predictability is the enemy of passion. But when you show him that you're playful, that you're willing to explore, that you're not afraid to be a little daring, you remind him that with you, intimacy will never be boring. This is why men secretly crave playfulness. It makes them feel young again. It makes sex with you feel like an adventure, not a chore. It makes them want to come back again and again, because they know every time will be a little different, a little wild, a little fun. So surprise him, tease him in unexpected ways, keep him guessing, because the woman who can mix passion with playfulness, she's the woman he never forgets. Now let's pause for a second and really look at the big picture here. These 5 secret desires: admiration, control, teasing, body communication, and playfulness, are not just about technique, they're about psychology. Because when you fulfill these, you're doing more than giving him physical pleasure. You're giving him emotional nourishment. You're making him feel wanted, powerful, safe, and excited all at the same time. And let me tell you, that's rare. That's why most men go through life never experiencing it, because most women don't even realize it matters. But you're not most women. By even listening to this right now, you're already miles ahead. You're the kind of woman who wants to understand men on a deeper level. And when you bring this understanding into the bedroom, You don't just give him pleasure, you give him a memory that lives in his body forever. But here's the part no one talks about. When you unlock his secret desires, something magical happens. It's not just about him anymore, it's about you. Because a man who feels seen, admired, teased, and surprised, he becomes a better lover. He starts pouring that same energy back into you. He starts obsessing over your pleasure. He starts chasing you, not just physically, but emotionally. That's the real win here. Because intimacy isn't just about making him moan, it's about creating a cycle of desire where you give to him, he gives back to you, and together you build a connection that's unshakable. Let's take a breath here, because what I've just given you, the 5 secret desires men have when it comes to their joystick, isn't just a list of tips. It's a blueprint. And if you really absorb this, if you really start weaving this into your intimacy, you'll realize something profound. Men don't just want physical release. They want to feel alive with you. They want you to unlock parts of them that they didn't even know they had. But how do you take these 5 secrets and put them into practice? How do you transform them from ideas into unforgettable experiences? That's what this final section is about. We're going to go deeper. I'm going to give you scenarios, details, and the exact ways you can bring these secrets into your own intimacy, so you never leave him wondering whether he's desired, appreciated, or truly satisfied. The power of admiration. Turning insecurity into obsession. Let's go back to the first secret, admiration. I said earlier that every man has insecurities about his joystick. And I want you to really picture this, because sometimes it's hard for women to believe. Imagine a man standing naked in front of you. Outwardly, he might look confident. He might be smirking, flexing, acting like he knows exactly what he's doing. But inside, he's running through a checklist. Do I look big enough? Hard enough? Will she be impressed? Am I going to last long enough? This is why admiration is so powerful, because when you silence those voices with your words and your reactions, you take him from being in his head to being in his body. And when a man is in his body, he stops performing, he stops surrendering. So how do you admire him in a way that feels authentic? Start small. Use your eyes. When you first touch him, let your gaze soften and widen, like you've just unwrapped your favorite gift. Men pick up on that instantly. Next, add words. They don't have to be long, drawn-out monologues, just a whispered, "God, I love how you feel in my hand," or "You get so hard for me, I love that," can light him up. And finally, use your tone. Let your voice drop when you speak. Let it sound a little breathless, a little needy. That tone tells him you're not saying it for him. You're saying it because you can't help yourself. Here's the psychology. When you admire his joystick, he associates that admiration with you. Suddenly, you're the one who makes him feel powerful. You're the one who makes him feel enough. And that association, it sticks. Long after the night is over, long after he's gone about his day, the memory of your eyes on him, your words in his ear, your breath on his skin, it lingers, and he wants to come back to you for more. The fantasy of surrender. When you take control, now let's move to the second secret, control. Remember what I said, most men live in a state of control. They're used to being the ones who initiate, who decide, who lead. And sure, that fuels their masculinity. But do you know what makes masculinity even more intoxicating? The rare chance to surrender it. When you take his joystick into your hands and decide the pace, you're giving him a gift he doesn't even know how to ask for. You're saying, tonight, you don't have to think. Tonight, you don't have to lead. Tonight, you get to just feel. And that is liberating. Picture this, he's lying back, expecting you to follow his cues, but instead you push him down gently, straddle him and whisper, "Don't move. Let me take care of you." The look on his face in that moment, half shock, half raw desire, will tell you everything, because you've just flipped the script. You've just shown him that he's not the only one who can lead. And here's the kicker. When you take control like this, you don't emasculate him, you amplify him. Because deep down, what men crave isn't to always dominate, it's to feel desired. And when you take control of his joystick like it's your personal toy, he feels like your desire is so overwhelming you couldn't hold yourself back. That makes him feel irresistible. And that's the kind of high no man wants to come down from. The tease, why men crave the edge of madness. Now let's revisit teasing. This one is huge. Most women underestimate how powerful it is. They think teasing is just a quick brush of the hand or pulling away once. No. Teasing is an art form. It's about creating unbearable anticipation. It's about dangling pleasure in front of him like a carrot, then snatching it away at the perfect moment. Why does this drive him crazy? because it taps into his primal wiring. Men are hunters by nature. They're addicted to pursuit, to chase, to the idea of earning their reward. And when you tease him, you recreate that dynamic in the bedroom. You put him back in that state of hunger. Here's how you do it. Start slow. Touch him lightly, barely grazing him until he's straining against your hand, silently begging for more. Then, when he thinks you're about to give it, pull away. Let him feel that ache. Let him squirm. Let him say your name with that mix of desperation and frustration. That's when you know you've got him. And here's the beauty: when you finally do give him what he wants, the release is 10 times more powerful, because it's not just about the orgasm, it's about the journey you created to get there. He'll remember the way you made him wait, the way you held the power, the way he felt completely at your mercy. And that memory will make him crave you like a drug. The language of your body, why he needs to see your desire. The fourth secret is all about body language. And let me be blunt, your body is the biggest turn on you have, not just how it looks, but how it responds. Men are addicted to the feedback loop. When they touch you, they want to see what it does to you. When you touch them, they want to see how much you're into it. So here's the mistake most women make. They touch their man's joystick mechanically, like it's a chore. And sure, he might still enjoy it, but he's not obsessed with it. Why? Because he doesn't feel your passion in it. What he secretly wants is for your whole body to communicate with his. He wants to see your lips part slightly, your eyes close, your breathing change. He wants to hear that soft moan escape your throat, not because you're performing, but because you're turned on by turning him on. That's the loop. That's the fire. So next time, don't just use your hands, use your body. Lean in close. Brush your chest against his skin. Let your hair tickle him as you move. Whisper into his ear. Let your voice tremble. Let your breathing give you away. Because when he feels that, he's not just enjoying the touch, he's intoxicated by your desire for him. Playfulness, keeping him hooked for life. Finally, let's talk about playfulness. This is the secret that keeps him hooked long term. Because here's the truth: intensity fades if it's always the same. Passion dies if it becomes predictable, but playfulness, that keeps intimacy fresh forever. Think of it like this: passion is fire, but playfulness is oxygen. Without oxygen, fire burns out, but with it, it grows brighter, stronger, hotter. That's why men secretly crave playfulness. It keeps the flame alive. So what does this look like in practice? Maybe you surprise him with a bold move he's never seen before. Maybe you whisper something cheeky while you're touching him. Maybe you push him back when he tries to take control, and you laugh as you pin him down. These little moments of unpredictability keep him on his toes. They remind him that with you, intimacy will never be routine. And here's the deeper truth: playfulness creates emotional safety. When you can laugh together in the most vulnerable, intimate moments, he feels safe with you. He feels like he doesn't have to perform, like he doesn't have to be perfect. He can just be. And when a man feels that with a woman, he bonds with her in a way that's almost impossible to break. Bringing it all together, how to make him addicted to you. So now you see the full picture: admiration, control, teasing, body language, playfulness. These are the 5 things he secretly wants you to do with his joystick. But more importantly, these are the 5 things that make him feel something far deeper than physical pleasure. They make him feel seen, desired, safe, excited, and alive. When you admire him, you soothe his insecurities. When you take control, you give him the gift of surrender. When you tease him, you awaken his primal hunger. When you use your body language, you show him your passion. And when you're playful, you keep him hooked for life. This is how you create intimacy that's unforgettable. This is how you become the woman he thinks about long after the night is over. This is how you stop being just another experience and start being the experience. So the next time you're with him, remember this: you're not just touching his joystick, you're touching his ego, his masculinity, his pride, his heart. And when you handle it with admiration, control, teasing, passion, and playfulness, you don't just make love to his body, you make love to his soul. And that is what every man secretly wants.